Hi, this is the third in the series on end times, the study of eschatology. In the first, we looked at Jesus' last days prophecy, how everything in Matthew 24 and the other Gospels related to it were fulfilled within one generation. In false Christs and false prophets, we also found that the false Christs and the false prophets did arise within that one generation, and that 1/3 of Christianity was deceived as a result. In this study, we're going to look at wars and rumours of wars. Many people today refer to different wars that are going on around the world as if this indicates that we live in the last days. In Jesus' last days prophecy, we found that the last days were completed in either 70 CE or 100 CE, depending on which of the versions of the one generation you use, either 40 years or 100 years, which are both correct. Jesus prophesied about false wars and rumours of wars in Matthew 24, verse 6. And you will hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will arise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. The timing of this verse on wars and rumours of wars is between the two verses that refer to one generation. That's Matthew 23, verse 36. Assuredly I say to you, all these things will come upon this generation. And Matthew 24, verse 34. Assuredly I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away until all these things have taken place. So is there non-biblical evidence of wars and rumours of wars in that first generation? Josephus alone has 150 pages referring to the wars of that time. So here are a few. First of all, rumours of wars. 37 to 41 CE. The idea that Emperor Caligula would attack Jerusalem was enough for the inhabitants of Jerusalem to stop tilling their fields during that time. And of course that never happened. Kingdom against kingdom. King Herod II attacks King of Arabia in 36 CE. Then nation against nation. The Roman army defeated many nations prior to this time, and what they would do is they would take the men and enforce them into their army. So when Rome attacked the Jews or attacked other nations, they were nations against nations. So let's look at the Jewish-Roman wars. 41 CE. After fleeing Babylon because of pestilence to the city of Seleucia in modern-day Iraq, the citizens rose against the Jews, killing 5,000. 45 CE. The Jews of Perez versus Philadelphia. The Romans killed many Jews. Again in that same year under Cumanus, a soldier offered an indignity within the temple precincts in Jerusalem. The Jews objected and the Romans attacked, killing 30,000 in the resulting stampede. 49 CE, the Jews argued with the Syrians over who would govern Caesarea. The Syrians killed approximately 20,000 Jews as a result. Following their defeat in Caesarea, the Jews started another war with the Syrians, who again defeated them. In Damascus, Tyre, Ascalon, the Romans killed 10,000 Jews in the first hour alone. In Scythopolis, 13,000 were massacred in one night. Another of the many examples is found in 66 CE in Alexandria. The Jews rose up against the Romans. Tiberius sent in 2 legions of the Roman army, plus a further 5,000 soldiers. They killed infants, children, and adults, leaving 50,000 dead in the streets or burnt alive in their houses. Then in 67 CE, during the 47-day siege of the Jewish town of Jotapata by Vespasian, his army killed 40,000 Jews and 1,000 taken into captivity. In 66 CE, Vespasian attacks Jerusalem, but the Jews defeated. He then spent 2 years going throughout all the cities of Judea and Samaria, killing all those who resisted. So many people were killed that bodies filled the rivers, warning the downstream towns of impending massacre. In 70 CE, of course, the destruction of Jerusalem. Vespasian returns to Rome to become emperor and leaves Titus to finish off the remaining cities, including Jerusalem, home to the rebel leaders and the stronghold of the Jewish resistance to the Romans. Unfortunately for the Jews came back to Jerusalem before April 23rd, when Titus starts his siege on Jerusalem with 20,000 legionnaires and 40,000 further auxiliaries and troops from various nations. Because they arrived during Passover, there were huge numbers of Jewish populace trapped in the city. On the 9th of August, the last sacrificial lamb was sacrificed because they had run out of sheep. Then on the following day, Titus offers a sacrificial pig, ox, and sheep to show that the Roman gods were above the Jewish gods. Then in September of 70 CE, destruction of Jerusalem and the temple is complete. 1.1 million people were killed and 97,000 were captured. So now let's look at the Jewish first century Holocaust. Was the prophecy of Jesus correct? And the Holocaust of the last century, how did that compare? Jesus predicted in his prophecy that the following 40 years would be the pinnacle of suffering for the Jewish people and that it would result in the Great Tribulation. Matthew 24 verse 21, again within those 2 references to one generation. For then there will be a great tribulation, such has not been since the beginning of the world until this time. No, nor ever shall be. As I've said before, I'll say again. If we refer to a great tribulation still to come, then we are actually making Jesus to be a false prophet, because he said that there would be a great tribulation within one generation and would never be repeated again. So I want us now to look at this chart that is on the screen. The Roman-Jewish wars of 41 to 67 CE saw 148,000 people. That's the absolute minimum killed by the wars. That's 3.5% of that worldwide Jewish population of the time of 4.2 million. The destruction of Jerusalem resulted in nearly 1.2 million Jews being killed, which was 28.5% of the Jewish population worldwide. Therefore, the total population of Jews killed in that first 40 years, or if you use the 40 years as a generation, was 32% of the Jewish worldwide population was killed in that first 40 years. If we want to use the 100 years as a generation, as we looked at in Jesus' last days prophecy, then within 100 years we find that 45.9% of the worldwide Jewish population was killed in that first 100 years. So has it become worse since Jesus' prophecy of wars and rumours of wars? If we look at World War II, for the Jewish people, there were approximately 6 million Jews killed out of a worldwide population of 16.6 million, which is 36.1%. Comparing that to the 45.9% of the population killed in the 100 years, we find that that first generation was indeed the worst that there ever has been. If Jesus' prophecy is correct, then wars and rumours of wars would have had to have decreased over the last 2,000 years. The trouble with media is that we have so much available now through social media, and we hear so often about World War II and the different wars that occurred. Now let's look at the next table, where we find that the wars have indeed decreased over time. The Mongol Wars of 1206 to 1405 are the worst of all of the wars, with 10.4% killed. Then the rebellion, the Chinese rebellion of 755 to 763, 8.9%. The dynasty transition, 4.2%. The conquest of Timur, 3.2%. World War II comes in 1939 to 1945 as 2.6% of the world population was killed. It is only the 5th worst of the 11 that we have listed here in this table. World War I, 1.3%. So as you go down this table, we can see that wars and rumours of wars have actually become less than what they were earlier on in history. As the kingdom of God has spread across the world through the spread of Christianity over the last 2,000 years, the wars and rumours of wars have decreased. And in this graph, we find that since 1946, that conflict has decreased, not increased as the media would tend to suggest. Now let's zoom into the last 30 years in this graph. And again, we find that conflict deaths have decreased over time. In 2010, you were 20 times more likely to die from a car accident than a conflict or terror-based event. So we need to be careful about our speculation that wars and rumours of wars on the media are a reflection that we live in the last days. First of all, it is incorrect exegesis and incorrect theology, because Jesus made it clear that he was only referring to the first 40 or 100 years. The amount of wars and rumours of wars, if we use the futurist theology, is actually exactly the opposite to what they are trying to say, that wars and rumours of wars are on the increase. History shows the opposite to this. And so we need to be careful in our teaching and our preaching not to use wars and rumours of wars or false Christs and false prophets, or as we look at pestilences and famines and earthquakes, as if they are proof that Jesus is coming. All of those things are not increasing, they are decreasing. So in summary then, Jesus prophesied wars and rumours of wars and a great tribulation within one generation. In false Christs and prophets, we found the same. Jesus' prophecy of the last days was correct, and it does not say that we are in the last days now. This happened with 46% of the Jewish population being killed within one generation, as opposed to 36% as in the Nazi Holocaust, as horrible as that was. Wars and rumors of wars have been decreasing over time as Christianity has spread over the world. And just because we can see wars due to the advancement of technology does not mean that they are on the increase. We are 20 more times likely to die of a car accident than as a result of a conflict through war or terror attack. We cannot quote Matthew 24 as proof of living in the last days. Jesus' prophecy of Matthew 24 was all fulfilled within one generation. God bless you as you go through this series on eschatology, the study of the end times.